Here's the project in Atom, and let's look through some of the files it gives us. We've got a bunch of files for setup, package managers, and testing. Up in the directories, the important ones are public, dist, config, and app. You put your static assets like font files and images in here. When you're ready to move your site to the web, Ember can build and bundle everything together and put it in here. Config is where you'll add code that changes the configuration of the project, or if the project needs to change based on the environment it's in. But probably 99% of your time will be spent in the app directory. Let's go through it. Ember is highly dependent on routes, so router.js is not hidden away in a folder. We'll be looking at routes and routing next. Here's the app's index file. We actually won't really be touching any of this. Here's the project's main setup file. We also aren't going to be doing anything in here either. Templates are very important to Ember. Any HTML we write will be in here. Remember when we looked at our app in the browser and it said, "Welcome to Ember"? That file is right here. Styles is for where we can put any custom CSS for our project. I said routing is important to Ember. Not only is there a router file, but there's also this routes directory. This is where individual route files will live. We'll be looking at this next. Models is where we would put schema files for the app's data. If we want to add additional functionality to our templates, we'd create helper files and place them in here. In Ember, controllers are very similar to components and are actually being phased out in future versions, so we won't be working with controllers. Ember makes it really easy to create our own custom HTML elements. It refers to them as components. The functionality goes in here, while the component's HTML file goes in here. All of this was generated with the Ember new command. Ember favors convention over configuration, meaning that Ember has its way of doing things, and as long as you do it the Ember way, you won't have to worry about configuration. An example of this is where to put a file and how to name it. A component has to live in the components directory and be named a certain way. We don't want to worry about all of Ember's conventions though, so we'll just use Ember CLI to generate and maintain our files. The first thing to do with a new app is to set up routing. So let's set up some routes.